While the 2024 Formula One Constructor Championship is fiercely contested on the track between Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull, behind the scenes, preparations continue for the next technical cycle. The World Motorsport Council's October meeting approved initial changes to the 2026 regulations, with the final version expected by year's end. Significant strides have been made regarding performance and flexibility in design, with team principals expressing approval for the upcoming changes. The biggest innovations in the next-generation cars are several, from a weight reduction of about 30 kilograms to changes in dimensions. However, what truly breaks with the past is the active aerodynamics featuring X and Z modes. Additionally, the arrival of a simplified power unit and the override mode will make things even more exciting. From a side view, there are numerous changes, from new barge boards to additional wing elements on the front wing end plate. The barge board, for now, has a distinctly different shape, shorter and taller. Additionally, a support arm has been added to prevent unintended flexing of the profile, which plays a crucial role in managing inwash flows. Moving to the front wing elements, the FIA has chosen to position the flap for an upwash function, different from the slight outwash of the previous version. Moreover, below the flaps there is a new vertically positioned flow deflector to energize the flow directed towards the floor. There are also major changes at the floor inlet, where small fences have been added for better aerodynamic flow management. Additionally, the inlet shape has been significantly altered. It's like a chess game. The regulations defining agile vehicles are in continuous, slow evolution, even as the January 1st deadline quickly approaches, the day when teams can begin aerodynamic studies, currently on hold by regulation until the start of the new year, on cars that will usher in the new F1 era in a cycle lasting until 2030. In recent days, we have talked about the fact that the FIA has finally eased some limitations restricting the development of the front wing and the front section of the floor, allowing the introduction of vortex generators that seemed banned. The dimensions of the rear diffuser are also being reviewed, making it larger than in the draft the International Federation presented in June. The goal is to increase aerodynamic load, which had been reduced by 40% compared to today, and performance. We're seeking solutions that enable better recharging of the hybrid system, which will see the electric engine's power grow to 50%, contributing equally with the six-cylinder combustion engine. This increased freedom is viewed positively by teams who envision an F1 with less prescriptive designs and greater freedom to express different aerodynamic concepts. The result is an impressive 50-point increase in downforce compared to the initial draft, bringing overall downforce to only about 15% less than current levels. In terms of cornering speed, the simulations are now much more convincing. The changes could still deliver exciting races and maintain Formula One as the pinnacle of motorsport, as the level of downforce now seems to be in a more optimal range. The direction is promising, even though significant challenges remain in the background. The FIA has long defined the rules governing the new power units. As we've noted before, in addition to imposing equal power management between the electric and combustion components, they aimed to boost eco-friendly fuels with the introduction of e-fuels or biofuels to reduce emissions. Formula One has realized that clean fuels present a huge opportunity to promote non-polluting gasoline that could give combustion engines a second chance, as manufacturers are discovering that the pure electric market for production vehicles is far more challenging than expected, triggering corporate crises shaking some major brands. The FIA sought a fuel regulation that would leave the field open for research, recognizing that F1 could contribute to the rapid evolution of synthetic and non-fossil fuels, not considering too much that this could open the door to a potential fuel war. Manufacturers developing new power units are realizing that having the best engine might not be enough, as differences between one advanced fuel and another could have a performance impact that some estimate at between 3% and 5%. We're talking about chemical power that could be worth between 30 and 50 horsepower. This is enormous if you consider that Renault will exit the most important motorsport series because it suffers a power deficit of about 30 horsepower with its current unit, equivalent to the lower end of this range. Teams are discovering that oil companies, Aramco, Petronas, Shell, ExxonMobil, BP, are embarking on a rearmament with dedicated budgets, some astronomical and others more limited. The result could be significant disparities, transforming what should return to being a power unit championship into a fuel-based Formula One. The search for chemical additives that can serve as effective anti-knock agents, allowing higher compression ratios in combustion engines, is leading some groups to seek partnerships with small, ultra-specialized centers capable of delivering novel solutions. It should not be surprising if, within the engine budget cap, the cost of a liter of e-fuel was estimated at €200. This figure aims to be drastically reduced to at least €150, introducing significant bans on additive substances. Those further along in developing new fuels will seek to avoid tight restrictions, but it is increasingly clear that without limits, we could end up like in the 2014 championship at the start of the hybrid era, with the unchallenged and unchallengeable dominance of Mercedes. Which path will Formula One take? The work is clearly not over yet, as the FIA and teams are still running simulations to finalize the new regulations for the 2026 Formula One Championship. Starting in January, teams will be free to launch their design projects, but suppliers like Pirelli and Brembo also need the finalized parameters in order to be able to complete their development of tires and brakes for the upcoming generation of single-seaters. But the final version of the 2026 Formula One technical regulations is coming soon. These updates have allowed teams to optimize and accelerate the development of cars that are still in an early development stage.